president would say, yes, we can. So yes, we can, and yes, we will. And we will win because together, and this is about all of us, we are fighting for America's future. And we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear.
Wow. Wow. Protesters are taking over. The protesters have forced Kamala Harris to stop. Unbelievable, guys. Protesters have literally interrupted Kamala Harris's speech mid-sentence. But what's interesting here is that they remain quiet until now. They remain quiet. So they essentially infiltrated into this arena past security, and now protesters are having their moment. Let's see what happens. And hey guys, before we get started, I just want to say, before we get too far into this, please hit the like button if you appreciate the content. And if you'd like to see more content like this, definitely subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I will keep you posted.
If your brother or your son or boyfriend needs to hear your perspective, are you willing to talk to them? Are you willing to send a video of what I've just said? Are you willing to do something? If you have an aunt who's thinking about sitting this one out, or voting for a third party, are you willing to have an uncomfortable conversation? Are you willing to do something? Welcome to this stage, the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
We got some work to do. Can we please applaud my dear and incredible friend, the former First Lady, Michelle Obama. And I just have to say, I've known Michelle for years, and she is an inspiration. I know everybody here knows this. She is a truth teller, and she motivates us to get to work, especially when the stakes are high, because as she reminds us, as my mother taught me, don't just sit around and complain about injustice. And there are so many incredible leaders here tonight, but I want to...
Now, as you guys heard, Michelle Obama, also known as Big Mike, is a truth teller. All about that truth. So what's the real truth? Were you always a woman?
I want to first just thank everybody, because there's so much you could be doing with your time right now. And you are here, and we are here as community, as coalition builders, because we love our country. And I thank you for being here, and I thank you for all your work. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. And I want to give a shout out to Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist. He's over there somewhere. Senator Gary Peters. And all the union, elected, and community leaders here today, I thank you. I want to give a special thank you to former Republican Congressman Fred Upton, who represented Kalamazoo for decades and has endorsed our campaign because, as he put it, Ours is the team that will bring people together, strengthen our economy, and get things done for the American people.
Never mind the fact that you're already in the office and you should already be doing this. We shouldn't have to re-elect you to do the job that you were already elected to do. You're already in office. So what's the holdup, Kamala? What's the holdup with the economy? Why is inflation still way above where it needs to be? Why is the economy still lagging?
So Kalamazoo, listen, you all know before I was vice president, I was a United States Senator. And before that, I know you want to say Kamala Zoo, I heard you.
And so now it is time to hype up the crowd, rally out the crowd, and remind them of all of the previous positions that Kamala Harris has held. But these positions, they were not held with the highest regard. These were positions where she effectively failed at them. She locked up innocent men and women. She lied about use of marijuana. When asked about marijuana usage, she laughed. She laughed after sending hundreds, if not thousands of people away behind bars, prison, for marijuana possession. Now it's legal. Now it's legal. But she laughs at the very thing that she likely has done herself while putting people behind bars. She laughed at the fact that with the swipe of her pen, she can effectively ruin your life. She can make you have to hire a lawyer. She can make you have to appear before a judge. She can make you wait behind bars while you lose your job, have your reputation ruined, only to have her later on dismiss the charges after she's already ruined your life. This is the kind of person that this mob of people who are cheering this deranged woman on is going for office. How would it even remotely make any sense to allow a person with this type of character to behold the highest position in the land?
All right. Okay, we got that out of the way. Okay. So listen, before I was vice president, and before that I was a two-term Attorney General of California. I was a senator and a two-term Attorney General of California, and before that a district attorney, and before that a courtroom prosecutor. And in those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators, fraudsters.
I swear she says this at every speech.
I took them on and I won.
She says the same thing every time.
In 10 days, it's Donald Trump's turn. So listen, we've got just 10 days left. Well, you know, I hear your chant, but listen, the courts are going to handle that. We're going to handle November. Okay? So look, we've got...
So what she's referring to are Donald Trump's many legal trials that effectively the Biden administration has steered the Department of Justice in his direction, an attempt to slow Donald Trump down. That's what she's referring to, by the way.
Got just 10 days left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime. As you all know, voting has already started. And everybody here knows this is going to be a tight race till the very end. So we have a lot of work to do. But we like hard work.
Hard work is good work.
Hard work is good work.
How did I know she's going to say that?
Hard work is mistake, we will win. We will win. We will win. We will. Yes, we will. And I got something for it. Or as a certain former president would say, yes, we can. So yes, we can, and yes, we will. And we will win because together, and this is about all of us, we are fighting for America's future. And we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear.
Wow. Wow. Protesters are taking over. The protesters have forced Kamala Harris to stop. Unbelievable, guys. Protesters have literally interrupted Kamala Harris's speech mid-sentence. The protesters are not happy with how the Biden administration, how the Kamala Harris, how the Biden-Harris administration has handled the war in Gaza, Israel, Hamas, the Palestinians. This is a very delicate situation. But what's interesting here is that they remain quiet until now. They remain quiet. So they essentially infiltrated into this arena past security, and now protesters are having their moment. Let's see what happens. Let's see how Kamala handles this very intense moment. She's on stage by herself right now.
Thank you all. Thank you all. And listen, on the topic of Gaza, we must end that war. And we must end the war and bring the hostages home. But now I am speaking about 2024. All right. So listen, we have to understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear and the divisiveness that have characterized our politics for a decade because of Donald Trump. We have an opportunity to turn the page and chart a new and joyful way, dare I say joyful, way forward.
Is anyone willing to bet that handlers, security, came to basically interject and escort the protesters out, eliminating their ability to exercise their First Amendment right to free speech? How many of you guys want to take me up on that bet? Do you think that they allowed those protesters to stay in there? Because it's mighty quiet. They shut those protesters up real quick because this was live. They can't have this. They can't let these protesters be out of line. They need to be in line with all the other lemmings that we see here in the crowd, clapping when they're supposed to clap, cheering when they're supposed to clap, or cheering when they're supposed to cheer, and laughing at all of these pre-written jokes that Kamala Harris spews every now and then.
We tap into the ambition and the aspirations and the dreams of the American people. And I'm going to tell you, as I travel around our country, there is an overwhelming call for a fresh start. For a new generation of leadership that is optimistic and excited about what we can do together. There is a yearning in our country for a president who sees the people, not just looking in the mirror all the time, but sees the people, who gets you and who will fight for you. That is what this election is about. And my whole career, I have put the people above partisanship. I never asked somebody, are you a Democrat or a Republican, before I offered help. Instead, the first and only thing I asked is, how can I help you?
And on that note, guys, I got to ask, what has Kamala done for you? How has Kamala Harris helped you in your life? How has Kamala Harris's policies improved the life of you, your family, your economics, your finances, your investments? Has Kamala Harris helped you in any way? Has Kamala Harris lowered the cost of gas? Has she lowered the cost of food in the grocery stores? Who's been to a restaurant lately? Have you noticed the menu prices? I see that the menu prices are way higher than they used to be. Everything is more expensive. How about your rent? How about your mortgage payment? How about your property taxes? What about your car insurance? Is any of that higher? I mean, the thing is the real question should be, is any of it lower? We know everything's higher. Everything's higher. There's nothing that is less expensive today than it was 4 years ago. So this is the real question. What have you done in the last 4 years?
And that is a major difference between Donald Trump and me. And between the two extremely different visions that he and I have for our nation. One, his, focused on the past and himself. The other, ours, focused on the future and you and your family.
So now she's focused. For real this time.
And together we will build a future where we bring down the cost of living. And that will be my focus every single day as president. Because look, while inflation is down and wages are up, prices are still too high. You know it and I know it. And unlike Donald Trump, who had $400 million handed to him on a silver platter.
Here we go.
And filed for bankruptcy 6 times.
Here we go. Now, mind you, billion-dollar corporations file bankruptcy all the time. Many people may not realize this, but bankruptcy is actually a strategic play in many cases to be able to restructure debt and get lower payments in order to make a business profitable and turn things around. So I don't think she knows that, though.
I grew up in a middle-class neighborhood
Here we
with
go.
a working mother who kept a strict budget and did everything she could to make sure my sister and I had all that we needed. I come from the middle class, and I will never forget where I come from.
Middle class.
I will never forget where I come from. And so my common sense plan is about lowering the prices you pay on everything from prescription medication to groceries to housing. On the other hand, Donald Trump will raise costs on the families of America. In fact, independent economists have analyzed our plans.
Who are these
And
economists?
found that mine will cut your costs and strengthen our economy, while his will increase inflation and lead to a recession by the middle of next year.
Where is this plan? Where is this plan? She said that leading economists or something like that have analyzed her plan in comparison to Donald Trump's and have come to these wild conclusions. But what are they analyzing? Because there's no plan to speak of. There's no policy to speak of. How are they coming to these assumptions? And who are these analysts? Who are these economists that are making these assumptions? I'd love to know who they are. Of course, they're nameless, faceless people that she's just made up.
And his agenda is all laid out in Project 2025. Which I still must say, I cannot believe they put that in writing. I mean, they put it in writing, they bound it, they handed it out. And if you get your hands on it, Google it. It's a detailed and dangerous blueprint for what he will do if he is elected president. Donald Trump will impose a 20% Trump national sales tax on everyday basic necessities, which will cost, the economists have measured it, will cost the average family nearly $4,000 a year. On the other hand, I will take on an issue like...
Now, I want you guys to pay real close attention here. What you see here are two teleprompters, okay? Now, you really can't make out the words on these teleprompters right now because of the angle that they're facing, but essentially Kamala Harris is reading off these teleprompters, and you got one that kind of faces the right. Here's another one that faces the left. So that way she can like look in different directions and still be able to read what she needs to off the teleprompters. But this is why you're thinking to yourself, why have I heard this before? Well, you've heard this before because it's a variation of the same scripts that she always reads. So this is why we keep hearing this broken record of Kamala Harris over and over again, the exact same talking points. And I'm like, come on, guys, how much are you paying these writers? I'm pretty sure that these writers are capable of coming up with some different talking points. But it's really a shame that we have to hear the same thing over and over again.
Price gouging. I've done it before and I will do it again. Donald Trump will give massive tax cuts to billionaires and the biggest corporations, exactly like he did the last time he was president. I will give middle-class tax cuts to 100 million Americans, including $6,000 during the first year of a child's life, that will also lift America's children out of poverty.
I just find this so hilarious so many times where I hear a lot of the policies that she wants to push, and it's like, whoa. Wasn't that Donald Trump's policy that he was campaigning on? And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, wait, that's a good policy. You know what? Yeah, we're going to do that too. It's unreal.
Donald Trump, again, read his plan, will get rid of the $35 cap on insulin for seniors. He will cut Medicare and Social Security. In fact, recently it was published, independent economists say he will bankrupt Social Security in the next 6 years.
Wow.
And what everybody here knows, we have so many seniors whose only source of income is their Social Security check. And we believe that our seniors should be able to retire with dignity, not worried about whether they're going to have a roof over their head.
You know, it's so funny. She comes up with these wild accusations about Donald Trump and Social Security, SSI, SSDI. And it's like, look, first of all, Donald Trump said that he's not going to be touching Social Security. In fact, one of the things that Donald Trump campaigns on is that he wants to remove the taxes that are being assessed on Social Security payments to retirees. We're not hearing that from Kamala Harris. The other thing that we are seeing, and you guys, some of you guys who receive Social Security, or maybe if you know someone who receives Social Security, SSI or SSDI, many folks have received letters, threatening letters from the Social Security Administration, the SSA, indicating that they're going to be cutting your payments. They are doing this to a number of people because of what we have been, what has been coined as overpayments. Essentially, the Social Security system has screwed up for decades, and in many cases have overpaid people, according to them, for a number of years. And so now, because the Social Security Administration has been so poorly run under the Kamala Harris, Joe Biden administration. Again, all of this is under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's administration. The Social Security letters threatening seniors, saying that, you know, hey, we've been overpaying you, so you've been receiving these overpayments. We're going to stop paying you your Social Security check. For some people, like Kamala Harris just said, this is their only income source. So under the exact same administration that's allowing the Social Security Administration to threaten retirees, she's blaming Donald Trump that he's going to be bankrupting Social Security. I mean, again, you guys, we should all be offended by how stupid Kamala Harris thinks that we are. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the remainder of this rally. but I did want to allow you to hear some of these key points and some of the blatant lies that she's telling these people. I mean, look at these faces out here. Look at this lady over here. She is bewildered by what Kamala Harris is saying. I mean, she is literally in shock. I mean, and she's just one of many people in the crowd that are staring at Kamala Harris like, what in the world is this lady talking about? Anyway, guys, if you haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out my previous videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one.